Yeah. Whoever is new can, just talk about themselves, since we have a small cohort only. Vanasmita, you want to go first?
Hi all. So I'm Vanasmita from Odisha. I did my bachelor's from Silicon Institute in Bhubaneswar in electronics and instrumentation. Then I had an interest in bio, so I switched for biomedical. So I did my master's from IIT Delhi in biomedical engineering. Then I worked for 2 years in Indian Spinal Injury Center as a biomechanics engineer in fundamental research of spine biomechanics. But I'm more in
That's spine?
spine biomechanics.
So spine is like as in the back spine. Wow, okay. I did not understand that.
Yeah, spine and orthopedics. So
Okay.
mostly it was more focused into spine. So we used to work on cadaveric fundamental experiments.
So
Cadaver
cadaver
means
is the human body, right? Cadaver, the corpse. Okay. So for
yeah,
those of you who don't know, cadaver is like body. Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Sorry. Go on, huh?
So that was there, but my master's thesis was on MRI image processing on brain tumor cases. So I have hands-on on MATLAB programming and little bit of machine learning I had that time, but it's all washed off now because I changed the field. So I want to get back into the field of image processing or AI engineering in healthcare.
Got it. Perfect. Awesome. Thank you. Grateful for you to join our community. Thank you so much. A lot of suddenly the heat and the IQ in the room has increased so much.
Thank you.
Awesome. And, okay, who wants to go next? Sivanand, is this your first time? I'm sorry, I'm really kind of bad with when people have joined.
Yeah, this is my first time joining. I'm Shivanand.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So I did my engineering back in 2011 and computer science engineering. Okay. And then I started working for a startup with ETL as my primary area.
Okay.
And then I started working for Tech Mahindra for the past 7 years as a data warehousing consultant, designing data things and all the stuff. And last Friday was my last day in TechM. So
last Friday was your
last working day in TechM.
Oh, awesome.
So I'm moving to next one, Bosch.
Oh, you go into the new job.
Yeah, new job.
Excellent. Very good. Because if you don't have a job, then that's
no.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. Bosch, what is the role and where is the city?
I'm actually I'm basically from Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu.
Okay.
And my Bosch is in my hometown itself. That's one of the reasons why I had to switch into this one. I'm doing the same role in Bosch as well.
Okay.
I was an SAP BW consultant, trying to do the same thing, but I wanted to get into data science area. So that's why I'm trying to prepare all these steps.
Yeah. Nice. And what? So just I don't know if you told. What is the function in Bosch? The same ETL warehouse?
Yeah. Not just ETL, data modeling and reporting.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Okay, perfect. Okay, yeah, thanks for sharing your background. Okay. Next, Anu, I think this is your first one, right? Good. Welcome again, Anu. Great to have you here. Yeah. What's your background? What's your
I'm purely mechanical engineer.
Nice.
So
mechanical.
Yeah. So I don't know anything about this thing, AI and this thing, what is machine learning, everything. So when I was going through some job brochures and all, everyone were asking whether you have any background of data analysis or a machine learning thing. Yeah. Because now it's a new venture now. So literally, I don't know. Then when I was going through the Facebook, I click on your ad. Then I thought, okay. And my background is I completed BTech in 2012 from Kerala University. I'm from Kerala. My hometown is Kollam. So I completed BTech from Kerala University in 2012. Then completed MTech in 2014 in Kannur Engineering College.
Lovely.
Then I'm also right now I am also an alumni of IIT Madras. I did my PhD.
Nice.
Just now I completed my defense.
Wow, congratulations.
So this is my like what is that buffer time. So I thought I should not waste this
Wow.
time. So meanwhile, I thought I should learn this.
Okay, perfect.
So,
And so you're from Sarayu Hostel? Sharaf?
Sabarmati.
Sabarmati. Okay. I
Yeah.
was in Saraswati.
Okay. Then I thought, okay, from our IIT Madras, one link is there, so definitely we should go.
Okay.
Then I understood, sir, also your like mechanical background. Then if you can also do something, I can also able to do.
Yeah. No, I think colleges and all don't matter. My move from mechanical to Columbia, like I said, was just survival. I didn't have such grand plans like you. Mine was, I think Telugu people, the only two things if you have to be deemed as a human, there are only two things. You have to be either engineer or doctor. Otherwise, you can't.
I know that. I have guided one MTech fellow from Andhra. So
Yeah.
that time he used to tell, ma'am, like that only. So these things. Then some few things I started working on that, but still I have to cope up few things. In between, I am also doing some other extra classes or something.
Okay.
Yeah, so my faculty projects and all few things are there. That is purely mechanical oriented only, not like those.
May I ask, what is your that final PhD thesis like?
Actually, mine is abrasive jet machine. I was working on the non-conventional machining process.
Okay.
So investigation of micro features on abrasive jet machine using a developed setup. So I just characterized the different materials, features generated using my AJM setup.
Okay.
So of using this AJM setup, we know that using laser and all, if you machine a metal material, you will have a heat effect its own, and like such defects will be there. So how to overcome those defects using another machining? Like one of the advantage of my process is like that. So I was highlighting those aspects in machining of those materials, especially like silicon wafer, semiconducting material. Right now they are using for lithography process and all. So apart from that, how you can do it in the less cost and without any damage to the material, like that different other materials also I have carried out. So that study was my thesis.
Yeah, that sounds really complex. And may I ask, so is it Professor Kannan or Krishnan Balasubramaniam? Who's your?
No. My professor is Dr. Somashekhar S. Haramat. I'm from manufacturing background.
Okay.
KB sir, Krishna Balasubramanian, I have small work with him.
Okay.
So when I was doing with the composite materials, so I used to use his lab facility for some of my characterization things and all.
Okay. I don't know if, I mean, maybe we can speak offline, but if you are interested, so my roommate from IIT Madras, his name is, you can Google him also, Professor Chandraprakash Chindam. He's a professor at IIT Kanpur. I mean, I was speaking to him some 2-3 months ago. He said in aviation, aerospace and aviation. So he's doing something about material destruction on like the wings or something. I didn't understand myself. So after that, I lost it. But maybe there's some connection if you want to do a postdoc or something. I don't know if that's even a correlation. His name is Chandraprakash Chindam, 2010 IIT Madras batch. He was my roommate from first year.
Okay.
So 2005 onwards, he's my roommate. And he's from Pennsylvania State University, PhD.
Okay.
He's an associate or assistant professor, the first grade professor at
IIT. Assistant professor.
Yeah, at IIT Kanpur.
Okay.
My other friend is also IISc professor. His name is Kaushik Vishwanathan. He's not my roommate, but he's my next roll number.
Okay.
I don't know if there's any help you need, I can introduce. I don't know what Kaushik is working on. I didn't understand it.
Definitely, I am also planning for the PDF of if there is. So I tried for outside, but unfortunately I couldn't able to get it. I don't know why. Maybe project wise, I don't know. Their funding, right now there is a problem with the funding in the outside. Whoever I am contacted, they are telling, okay, right now we don't have that sufficient funding and all. So I'm like that. They just wherever it is coming, I will go. That's it.
I've written both the names in the Zoom chat. You just take a snapshot of that. If you need any help, introduction, see, I can do introductions and all. I don't have PhD at all. I
Yeah.
have friends who are PhD, but I maybe sometime later I should do my PhD. I have enormous respect for that. Okay, perfect, ma'am. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Swapnil Bhai, I think you've been part of the community. I think I've seen, but I don't think you have had a chance to introduce. So let's keep it like maybe 1-2 minutes because we are a short set of people.
Okay, sir. So this is Swapnil. Good evening, all.
Good evening.
I am from Maharashtra, Pune. I have completed my master's in computer application and currently working in government company.
Very good. Very good. Which company?
Electrical distribution company, Maharashtra.
Very nice. Very good.
MSCDCL.
Very good. Very good. Excellent. Okay, perfect. So what do you now, Som? You want to go for it? Som Sindhu Banerjee. Maybe he's muted.
Yes, sir.
Go on.
Sir, actually, I am from mathematics background. I have completed my post-graduation in mathematics.
Okay.
And I'm doing my second post-graduation in AI from Mizoram Central University.
Very nice.
And I am teaching in a CISC affiliated school in class 11 and 12.
Wow.
My first post-graduation was done in the year 2018.
Okay.
And after that, 1921 in this session, I did my B.Ed also. And I am actually trying to do research in theoretical computer science or applied mathematics. Okay. And AI fascinates me a lot. And I have been to your community for 3 weeks. This is my third week.
I know I've seen you, but I don't think you introduced yourself.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah,
sir.
yeah. Perfect. Good. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Okay, excellent. And next, we're going to have Sarath. Are you traveling or where are you in your? Can you go next? Or I think Sharath is also from Kerala.
Yeah. Hi. Just a moment. Hi all. Right now I am in my hometown. Yeah. So let me introduce myself. I'm Sharath Chandran. I'm a BTech graduate in mechanical engineering from MG University. Finished my BTech in the year of 2012. I did my master's in automotive engineering from VIT University. And since then I am working in automotive industry right now in Renault Nissan Alliance as a NVH analyst.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah. Sharath, you've heard about this company called Rivian? You're on mute. You're still on mute. Oh
yeah, electric trucks. Yeah, I have heard.
Yeah. So those of you who don't know, you can Google it maybe now or later. Rivian, Rivian. It's an automotive company started by this 19-year-old 10-12 years ago, 2009. That company, so everybody's talking about Tesla, which is like, I think 1 trillion, some very high number, but Rivian is also 100 billion valuation and zero revenue. So the electric vehicle revolution is very, very real. So those of you, I think, like I said, I continue to believe it very strongly. It's much better to spend a little bit of time and upskill, no matter how hard it is in the future technologies like AI, cybersecurity, or blockchain, or electric vehicle, and try to get a job there as opposed to legacy technologies. And for some reason, we get stuck in legacy technologies like .NET. Not that I'm dissing at anybody, but I'm just saying, like, even I've made that mistake, like Java and all. Okay, perfect. So Rivian it just went public or something like that. So I've invested in that stock. So I encourage you also if you're into that. Okay, Dr. Yashpal, you want to, I think you have also not introduced, but if you have 2 minutes, you can please spare. Otherwise, we can.
Sir, very good evening. This side, Dr. Yashpal. And right now, that last, whatever that my academic qualification, I have completed my BE from Swami Kshatriya Technical University from Chhattisgarh, and my master's from Chaudhary Devilal Institute, Sirsa, and my PhD from that Mewad University. And last 15 years, I am working in that different universities and different colleges. And right now, I'm working as a director and professor in Mangalpa Institute of Engineering Technology. That's awesome.
Excellent. Perfect. Excellent. Seems like a lot of mechanical engineers are here. I don't know. Is it because you saw my ad and like not ad, but my webinar, I say mechanical engineer. And thank you so much for sharing that, Dr. Yashpal. Prabhu, you're next. You want to go next? Do you have 1-2 minutes?
Hi, I'm Dhanisla Prabhu. I already introduced yourself.
No, I know that. I know that, but for this
Yeah.
group,
I am Dhanasila Prabhu. I'm currently working in Strive as a project coordinator.
Stripe, did you say Stripe, the payment processor?
No, not. This is not Strive. STRAIV.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect. Awesome. Hemang, old man, I mean, old in the community, relatively. You want to go next? Maybe he's not at this desk. Okay. And Rajesh, you want to go next? Let's give 3 more seconds. He's there. And last I can see Mohan Raj. We have that one-on-one left, Mohan. Want to unmute, guys? Maybe you're on.
Hi, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
I'm still making up the agenda. I don't want to get into the one.
No, it's okay. Agenda was, I told you agenda is just for like this. Like if you have half an hour, just utilize whatever you want.
Sure. Hi everyone. Myself, Mohan Raj Panchal. Basically a science graduate from Jayanth Vyas University, Jodhpur, Rajasthan. Okay. I started my MSc Mathematics, but I left. Then joined the CA and CWA course, Chartered Accountancy and Cost Accountancy course. It's a distance learning from the ICI and ICWI perspective. So, and now I'm employed in TCS and been in TCS for almost 9 years, handling one of the retail accounts. Basically, I've been into enterprise services and more exposure into retail clients, can call Fortune 50 retail clients, and helping in their business services as well as their technology, but not technically providing solution, but working with the team in collaboration. So, that's a little bit based out of Bangalore.
Perfect. Hope the range and all are updated. Thanks, Mohan, for that. Okay, and we have Swayamdeep. Thanks for making it. I see you joined a little late, but thank you so much. So what we're doing is just a quick round of introductions. We had most of the people say. Feel free to show your video and talk maybe 1-2 minutes of who you are, etc. So just for the community, others. Can you hear us?
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, I'll switch on my video next time. I'm not looking as presentable I should be.
That's
okay. I am Swayamdeep. I am working in Indian Railways as an officer, and I just joined this program to learn more about ML and AI because this is being implemented in Indian Railways, and also my brother might get help from this. So let's continue the session.
Okay. Awesome. And why don't you share where did you do your undergrad and stuff like that, so that people also.
Okay, so I am NIT Warangal 2014 pass out from electrical and electronics engineering, and then I joined Indian Railways after writing engineering services exam 2014, and since then I have been working in Indian Railways in various capacities as a purchase officer in material management department.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Feels good to have like a almost IAS officer. Sorry, but somebody right up there. Awesome. So thank you again for giving all a brief introduction of yourselves, guys. Thanks. So okay. So what we do every week, the idea is my goal is just to again drive more, not to you guys, to more to me, the value system, etc., from where this, what is the ethos of how we made this. And today evening, I have a little bit of, today towards the second half of the session. So after the values, some of you have seen it. I would love you guys to see it again and again, because like I said, I always continue to say it, and I will say it, contrary to perception, the best batsman in the world, and I love athletes as a concept. Sachin Tendulkar and all these guys, more than 60% of their scores runs are in singles. So it's about the mundane, it's about the boring, it's not about the exciting, etc. So we're going to finish the value system, etc. Second, I'm planning to do like a small for the community, and so that the course completion rates are higher, right? So all of us come out with a big bang, etc. But then somewhere it dips. That happens to me as well. So how do we get that? So some sort of deep tribe building, etc. So to that end, maybe so I'm going to be talking about a little bit of an idea, which is a hackathon where we'll be splitting into groups and we'll be working, because also it's not just me, guys. You guys have here like an NIT Warangal person, you have IIT guys, 2 guys, etc. So there's a lot of wealth right next to you, like literally right next to you, at least in the Zoom, but really, so please take advantage of that. And it maybe success or whatever it is just a call away. Like maybe it's just one WhatsApp away. We don't know that. And I genuinely believe community is everything, right? I was just speaking to also Swayamdeep, and I got like an idea that you're the sum of the 5 monkeys around you. So I'm already one monkey, right? So, choose the others 3, 4, whatever wisely. So right now, good to see you, Chandrakant, sir. Good. So I was just talking about, we're going to do the values, and then we're going to do the that hackathon distribution, right? And then as usual, the one question for the week. And since we left last week because I was sick, so today is going to be pretend today is yesterday's week, last week's week. That will be the filler. And this week's week will be tomorrow. And I'm also going to be talking about the blockchain course. I finally finished that back and forth with IIT Madras. So for those of you who don't know, IIT Madras it wanted to work with me, work with Pixeltests to actually, or rather actually, we wanted to work with IIT Madras, and we've come up with the joint program. It's a blockchain program that's going to be done by Professor Pandurangan. Some of you have already attended. So the fees, structure, everything has been finalized. Tomorrow, I'm going to announce that. And again, so I am not going to be hypocritical, but see, there are 5 courses, like 5 cutting edge technologies. One of them is obviously AI, machine learning, data science, which you guys know, no brainer. 2 is blockchain, cryptocurrency, ICOs, NFTs. 3 is so many other technologies like cybersecurity, etc. We're not yet there, but Pixeltests is going to be built around that, right? So to that end, this is the second piece. Only try to take that if you are convinced you can do both, right? So I would be very cognizant about what you're going to be doing. Those are different. Those are going to be, at least the first batch is going to be live sessions, because that professor, his style is completely live. He wants that. The ethos is completely different. It's going to be short paced, but very fast. Kind of, there's no lifetime access and all that stuff. So I'm going to be talking about all that tomorrow, right? So please come with a little bit of money and etc. And tomorrow, for those of you interested, blockchain is obviously a great technology. I'm going to be after this, I'm going to be sharing that link. If you missed out that 2-hour session, the AMA was done by Professor Pandurangan. He's India's 3rd or 4th best computer scientist. He's retired, and he's gone back to IISc. So his background is, he was IISc BTech or bachelor's. Then he was a professor at IIT Madras for computer science for 20 years. Then he went back to IISc now because he wants to be in Bangalore, right? So I'll talk tomorrow about, the fees. So the reason why I don't like delays, but there's been like, and okay, this is being recorded, but it's at least an kind of community. There's a lot of back and forth with IIT Madras. It is kind of, I wouldn't say onerous to work with professors, but it is kind of, I would say, tricky. Okay, so without further ado, let's go back to our value system and etc. Okay, give me a second as I pull this up. So I would request everybody to show up tomorrow as well. At least listen to the course, listen to the offering. If you are not interested, somebody else would be really interested. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, so let's start with, as usual, the same structure. One second. Okay. So the problem statement that Pixeltests, or at least at this time, 1 second, let me. Sorry, Zoom is just giving some issues. Okay, now it seems better. All right. So the problem statement, at least the ethos, you guys have to know from where, where I thought that kind of thought had come from was the current education and upskilling techniques are broken. I think that's beyond reasonable doubt. And there's a lot of layers and layers of, I would say, unlearning to be done. And I apologize about the mic because for some reason I'm actually traveling as the device was just misplaced. So next by tomorrow, hopefully that device will be there. So I'm using the Max mic. Yeah. So, and Pixeltests is one humble effort to sort of fix that. Mission is to build the world's largest society of data scientists, machine learning engineers, artificial scientists. Now we have blockchain engineers. Tomorrow we might get something else. Electric vehicles also probably going to come up. So all these are going to come. That's far down on the roadmap. And I'll tell you guys will be the first to hear that. And that the reason, like I said, is I completely believe in that everybody has 40 hours a week. You would rather put it in something that's cutting edge in the future as opposed to something that's behind and laggard. We don't do these things consciously, but I would request you to think about that because for every joule of energy spent in thinking about the future or in the future technology will reward a lot more compounded benefits, right? Vision to collectively empower every human on earth for a fulfilling and lucrative career. Yeah, very ostentatious and grand, but you have to be foolish enough to sort of have these grand statements, and maybe you'll fall at least half or somewhere there. Code of honor, like I said, to live remote, to live and learn everywhere. That's very, very important. As you guys are all witnessing that everybody's in a different place. Growth, learn new tools and techniques and master them. So at least for the beginning 90 days, like I've said in Success Mindset, etc., or the first 120 days, just try to hyper focus on these pieces. And like Earl Nightingale says, it's always about taking a good sprint, right? And then once you fix all the basics, you'll master them, dominate them, then you learn new things. Because the minute you're trying to do something new, you're purchasing ADHD, right? I mean, you're actually amplifying your ADHD, right? Clarity, strategy, communication, marketing, results. And the reason you might wonder why in a data science course are we learning this? It's about, because I believe in mindset, it's the number one thing. Think about it, like same information that comes in two people's heads, one person can become extremely successful, one person can be just continue to be the next person, right? So it's not the information that's the problem, it's always the mindset. And I'm just frankly appalled at current education systems that teach information after information. That's courses after courses, courses after courses. It's never the course. It's about the community. It's about your mindset, right? There is a specific way to continue to succeed, right? And I believe it's always going to be the mindset. Clarity, yeah. Again, always. Dr. DeMartini, I'm a big fan of his. Please Google him if you're not familiar with him. He says your highest value, if you live by your highest values, you'll be successful, you'll live longer. That's actually proven also. So be articulate and try to communicate. Articulation and communication is not the best English. Like for instance, MS Dhoni has really good communication skills, right? Try to master that. How do you speak less, but properly and also honesty to yourself, not to others. Please market. Sales and marketing has a very bad conundrum. That's not the right thing. I think it's because we get so many, on record, I can say Policy Bazaar phone calls, insurance agents, Eureka Forbes, washing machine sellers, but that's not the way sales happens. Like look at Elon Musk. He's selling very subtly things, right? Sales is about that. When sale doesn't even, when it's not even happening, right? So you have to sell yourself. If you can't say, oh, I'm a great from a premium college or have great skills, qualifications and all, and things will automatically happen. That's never the case, right? If you build an amazing stadium, there's a very famous movie of Kevin Costner. He builds an amazing stadium somewhere. In that movie, actually, I forget the name. A lot of people come and watch the game, but real life is not like that. Most people become great technical people, but they don't get the best jobs. You have to master marketing and communication. That is what I mean by writing blogs or taking up one project or sprucing up your LinkedIn. I've told enough in the community. You can see the LinkedIn mastery piece that's there in this inner circle. You all have access to that. You have to be able to present yourself, keep that LinkedIn piece, would keep that Medium blog, etc. And yeah. Field of Dreams. Yeah, there you go. Correct. Field of Dreams. So the thing is, I didn't, that scene from the movie is actually a misnomer. Again, that thing applies everywhere. That thing applies to startups also. Startups also, myself included. I thought 4 years ago when I built a great company and all that, great app, great idea, everything will happen. Nothing happens. You have to simply show up every week and keep pushing, keep marketing. That's the only other way. Right? At least that, if you have found another way, I mean, kudos to you. But the beauty is in the mundanity, the boring, right? You have to market. And I'm telling you again and again, that's the smarter you are. I mean, IQ is like beauty. You're either born with it or all that. But the other piece is EQ and SQ, you have to work. EQ and SQ is emotional quotient, spatial quotient. You have to work on it. You have to grind it. You have to put in the hours. Efficiency, speed of implementation, taking action. I think the first step has as you guys have already sort of done that, which is you've taken action in 15 minutes in a webinar, etc. That's great. The reason I also put that is because of, honestly, if you can't make like that decision quickly, I mean, I'm not talking about the finance piece, then similarly, you have to take action, right? If there's something, please take action. You might see some, like, let's say like the LinkedIn formula I've told, please go back and actually implement that on your LinkedIn, right? About Python, etc. I think 2 weeks ago, we had a class on Python. Please go back and submit that assignment, so on and so forth. Abundance, exploring and being open to multiple opportunities. Yeah, the reason why this is extremely important is even I am kind of observing my thought processes. Be positive. Like, really don't try to be like, oh, you know what, if I give him the lead, will she take the job over me and all. That's all our minds talking to ourselves. It's the devil in us. The quickest way to measure, and many people masquerade that you're helping. We tell lies to ourselves, right? Go back and just check on WhatsApp. The fastest way to check if you're actually a giver more than a receiver is just go and Control F for how many times have you actually said, hey, congratulations, more power to you, or here's an introduction mail for a professor or something. That's the only measure, really, right? If you have not introduced one person to somebody else, let's say a professor to somebody else, then you're not helping. I don't know what you're doing, right? Or if you're not really in a group or some private message, if you're not telling people, hey, more power to you, or you'll be fine, etc. So these are the words. I've done that exercise myself, and I found that even though I'm doing a lot, but I'm many times I've fallen short of my own expectation. Keep thinking positive, etc. This is something I've been telling as well. Charity. Many people give money. Don't do that. Just give 5% of money, but 5% of time. Identify a charity and do that. I've gone on record and told you guys. I work for LV Prasad. I was working with them, so that's like ophthalmology hospital. Okay, cool. So your first task would be data science finisher, which is for those of you who've come who have no idea, etc. I've started from the basics. At any time, you can just send me a WhatsApp and say if there's any kind of difficulty, or set up some call with me, right? Try to finish the basics as much and as independently as possible. So now, hopefully, with the teams as well, some different people are at different stages, right? There's not a classroom where everybody's going through the same experience at the same time. I don't know why classrooms are designed like that. Clearly, they're not working. Some people can be a little ahead. They can guide the people, who are somewhere else, so on and so forth. Like real life is like that, right? So the idea is to simulate that. And again, the first thing is the mindset. Your goal card is vitally important. This is not my figment of imagination. It's true. I also thought this was a very cuckoo thing, but it's real. I write my goals every day. I've not missed. Sorry, that was my mom. Please do that. I've gone on record and showed, okay, the book is in the other room, but I can get that later. Have a goal card, touch, feel it every day. I used to have it on my phone also, but behind my phone, then that thing came off because, whenever I go to a bathroom and also, have that at least in the beginning. Your goal card should be very clear, should be exactly where you want to be 1 year and 3 years from now, right? And it could be like, okay, I want to work in a Mang company now. Like Mang is like Meta, Apple, Netflix, and all that. Have that crystal clear. Only one goal card. You can't be like, oh, I want to be a business guy, plus I want to be this, plus I want to be that. It's a recipe for disasters, or to say that's actually, that's a self-destructive thing, right? Problem with smart people is never comprehension. I repeat, problem with smart people is never comprehension, it's focus. It's ability to say no. I'm going on record and saying, if you're saying 4 times no and 1 time yes in a day to critical decisions, you're on the path to be successful. If you're saying 4 times yes and once no, then it's going to be very difficult. Put it in the bathroom, put it in the mirror, everything. Lose yourself. Like really try to find the crazy in you. Earl Nightingale, I've given you the link. I have not missed a day of it. I would request you also not to miss it. While walking, while this thing, you might have your own style. I'm not going to tell you the specificity. Try to understand the philosophy. So conscious is what you're doing right now. You're listening to me. Subconscious is something you're picking up. Oh, you know what? This guy said something in the webinar. There's something it picks up. So even we might not be able to communicate to our subconscious, but it'll pick up, right? When you see somebody, let's say in a party, or when you see somebody, you're picking up these gut feelings. How do you get that gut to be better? Just listen to it. Listen to Stranger's Secret. It's one way of reprogramming your OS. Your OS, your operating system, is the most important. Let me push this again on Zoom. How many of you are listening to this twice a day already? Twice a day listening means not when you're doing multiple things. There's nothing like multitasking. It's very difficult. Unfortunately, all the Mangs think there's a blizzard of information trying to confuse us. But it's very important. Just do it twice a day. The more you go in a disciplined fashion, adhering to these like almost like monk-like discipline, the more you can extract out of yourself. Okay, introduction to Python programming. Okay, so this is Python programming concepts, etc. is what I've started with. I've started with basic. I'm planning to introduce just 1 or 2 more modules just before that. Not now, maybe it will come in 3-4 weeks. Forget about that. That's even more basic. That's like saying, writing hello world, etc. Perhaps next week we can kind of discuss that. Not today, tomorrow, Monday, but next week. EDA means exploratory data analysis. I've started from the basics, try to finish all these in the first 60 days. That's 2 months, right? And make features is the next chapter where we're talking about, how do you get to make features, etc. Critical and key features. Join and reshape data is very important in terms of, reshaping, joining data. Make explanatory visualizations is something I've also, specified. That's a 1.5 hour lecture. Sprint is something you'll have to submit, and Sprint is designed in a way where, real life or real companies, in the sense like FANG companies, etc. They design their entire work week, etc. based on sprints. You have 2-week sprints, so on and so forth. So these assignments are also sort of designed in such a way, right? Then I've kept statistics. Statistics is humongous. You don't have to do all of those. Just focus on t-test, chi-square test. Okay, I have a problem in EDA assignment file, couldn't able to open. Okay, so maybe we'll just pause here. Anu, do you want to tell me, share your screen and tell me the problem? I could just maybe try to debug that.
Sir, I downloaded it, but I couldn't be able to, in that EDA, it was a data. How to analyze the data things, right? So that EDA thing consists of such data. So that data is not able to open in the Google Column.
Okay, I've given you co-host access. If you're comfortable, you could share your screen and we can sort of just see what the...
Okay, 1 minute.
No problem, take your time. Or
you continue, sir. Meanwhile, I will.
Yeah, so towards the end, I have a session, like a small part where I say you can ask me any questions. Maybe you can put this as the question you want to ask for this week.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so take your time, no worries. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to just resign my co-host access with you. When you're ready, you let me know. Okay, wait, I'll get rid of this. Yeah, withdraw co-host. Okay, cool. So then I think after that, if you guys have if you guys have finished your statistics print and you've submitted that, let me know. And then the machine learning finisher is going to be the next stop, right? So that's linear algebra, linear models, applied modeling, and Kaggle challenge. So for us, for the hackathon, right? I just want all of us to do until data science finishing. So again, I repeat, for the hackathon, the next, let's say 60 days, or maybe it's going to be for 30 days. Considering December has some holidays and all that. So you'll be split into teams. And my idea is that you guys will be split into, we'll see what is the optimal split, maybe teams of 4 or 5. The next 2 months, just try to get to data science finishing. That's it. That is the only sort of objective. Then we'll go to the machine learning finisher, then we'll go to the deep learning finisher, so on and so forth. Perhaps you'll have a deployment piece coming up, right? And so I'm going to not talk about the machine learning just yet, like in detail, right? All right, and then we are going to be talking about traits. So I know I told this so I've told this to the metrics piece is going to come next. So these are the values. Why is values important? So this is, so I've seen one thing that many courses have like a, I mean, lack of a better word, transactional experience, where they finish the course and people go leave. One of the things I think I have learned a little bit from Madras, or maybe Columbia actually does it much better, is, you know, they have a sense of larger community, and maybe that's why those schools are doing far better. So if you have a long relationship, and I think these will be the seeding long relationships, you need the right value system, right? Because only the values will attract each other. And so I want to make sure I reinforce the values by at least telling again and again. So be self-reliant, and you know, be fixed on your goal. That's actually sort of evident, but it should be like your North Star. Whatever is your goal card is your goal. Don't change it. So decide, take 2-3 days, maybe have a coffee or whatever it is, and mull over it, sleep over it, or beer or whatever, and that's your goal. I see still after a lot of time, people will do multiple things. They'll keep hopping to different courses, etc. But I'm dead serious about that. Only one goal, yeah, nothing else. If you need multiple goals, for instance, I'll just tell you, I'm also trying to lose weight. So have a different goal card. So 2 goal cards, one personal, one this thing, a professional. And so it's not my thing. Like I told you, it's Napoleon Hill's Law of Success. It's called Law of Success. It's not Principles of Success or how to get successful. It's Law of Success. It's I think a 900-page book. Buy that, see that much later, after the 90 days, not now. One sec, let me just shut this door. Sorry, guys. Yeah. Responsibility, E plus R is outcome. Yeah, that's kind of clear. You know, as cliched as it might sound, we are here because of whatever actions we have done, no matter if you accept it or not. Everything has led us to be here. So take ownership of your actions. Don't push it on somebody else. Oh, something, whether this and that. You know, fast implementer. I think I've been a big believer of that. I would request you to be that. Persistent, essentialist, creative, humble, giver, and spiritual. So again, we're going to be doing it tomorrow as well. So I'll just spend a little bit of time only on this. So first 5 I've told. Tomorrow we'll just talk about the next 6. Okay. So we're going to be measured. And like I said, I am sort of almost obsessed about the mindset. And this is a simple framework to measure. Twice a day, Earl Nightingale, listen to that, please. And don't worry about what is it going to do with us. We are not psychologists. Something will happen, trust me. Write your goal book every day with pen. Don't type it. Don't voice note it, write it. Something about cognitively, pen and paper, it's very important. Goal card. Like people who prepare for IAS or people who prepare for IIT or whatever, other things. Or there's an avatar you would have always taken sometimes, right? Think about that. You're riveted about a goal, right? Think of like how a mom is riveted about a child, right? So there's something happening almost. Unsubscribe from everything again and again, again and again. That is something even I'm telling to myself. It's very difficult. There's a blizzard of information. For those of you who don't know, please see Social Dilemma. Even by mistake, once you have these on your smart device, and smart device is only what, 3-4 inches, but you know that there's like 7,000, God knows how many supercomputers AI is waiting to take your mind away, right? So think of this as David versus Goliath, right? On one side, you're a puny little person, but all of this AI is trying to mine your attention, right? So just unsubscribe from everything. Measure screen usage and time, log into an Excel. Actually, programming is the last thing. Your coding, etc., is the middle to last thing. It's not the most important thing, right? Log your family time, again, very, very, very important. I see many techies, I'll go on record and say also, some of my friends are also not doing well, they're also struggling. You don't ever push that aside. Our IQs, EQs, our IQs and all is great, but you have to spend time. Okay? Time means measure the time. Like, literally, I know it's paradoxical, but you have to do it. Map an activity with your mom, with your spouse, or whatever kids, etc. And just please do it. Sleep, food, and exercise, extremely important. Right. Okay. Tomorrow we'll talk a little bit more about those as well. And okay. So now in terms of, so I'm going to go ahead and give you that sheet, the one question for the week. Yeah. Before that, sorry, I'm going to be in that same. Sorry. So before that, I'm going to be now just segregating you into the teams for the hackathon. Now, what does the hackathon do? Nothing. So you're going to be split in teams. I'll give you the rules of the hackathon also. It's like a short experiment. So give me 1 second as I bring that up. Actually, I'm going to be giving you the sheet right now, and then we'll take a 2-minute break so that you can fill this. All right, so just take about 3 to 5 minutes. Just talk about that one question that you have for this week. And second is, I'm going to be splitting you into groups. So give me 2 minutes about that as well. Everybody got the sheet? So let me just put a timer for about. Yeah. So this is just 4 minutes. I hope this is enough. Just whatever question it is, it could be a technical doubt, a Python doubt, it could be an environment doubt, or any of these, what we've just covered. I know you could add your question to this as well.
Yes, sir. I added one more question. I have one more.
Excuse me, I think you're on mute.
Okay. So the first question is how to run Python code on local cloud apart from Collab. Good question. Prabhu, you can unmute yourself, come on the video, however you're comfortable. So I want to understand this. Is your requirement because you don't want Google? So let me try to understand your question better by giving some more additional context. Collab is there is a specific way from Collab to connect to your local. Does that solve your problem? Or you don't want Google at all to know your code because you are working, let's say theoretically in Oracle or somewhere, and it has to be on your Windows system? Try to help me better there, because that means the answer is there is Anaconda.
This question already asked and should answer that.
Oh, this is last.
Yeah.
Last.
Yeah.
With last time, sorry. Okay, Banasmita, I'm currently jobless and job hunt is not going well. Okay, first off, I really commend you that you've come out and asked this. So don't worry about it. First, relax. See, I will go on record and tell you I was displaced with American Express, and the displacement is companies do that. So it's a very tough time. Definitely, it's a very tough time. And I was also just at that time I was like married and all that. So two-part answer. My view is, how long have you been unemployed or on the so you had a job for 3-4 years and then you've been unemployed for some certain amount of time. Has it been more than 12 months since you've been unemployed? May I ask that?
So actually, I left my job in May. April last week. This 2021. I was employed for 2 years.
2 years. Okay. So I was employed for a year and then the layoff happened. So one thing is, see, your cash flow stops. That at least is very debilitating. It's very stressful. for me at that time when I was in the US, it's actually 10 times, 30 times more stressful in New York City. And I was kind of bad with my finances as well at that time. So my first thing is relax. So don't worry about it. I think a lot of people have been there, etc. You should push two buttons. One is when you say your job hunt is not going well, what does that mean? Is it there are three phases. So I would request you to go. First off, I think I'll make a slight exception to you in your case. I would go to Inner Circle Vault and I can share it on the group itself, where I talk to you, where I talk to the community, and I'll show it to you here, actually. Where's this canvas? Okay, so when you go to Canvas, and you have access to Inner Circle Vault. These are all the lectures I've done every week that I've showed up from August 27th, the recently when we started Pixeltests, right? So there should be a model here, I think 17th or 24th, where I tell you, handhold you like exactly, so let's go to the 17th October one, where I tell you precisely what happens. Here you might be whatever. How to write your resume. So I start like, how do you write your resume? How do you even update your LinkedIn? I talk about that. How do you take a photo on LinkedIn? Many people get this wrong. So this is what I mean by communication and marketing, etc. Right? So your goal card, first this is a great opportunity. I would keep this as a silver lining. Maybe this is a great opportunity for you to upskill, completely devote yourself into this and upskill, which is great, right? Most people have jobs and they hate it as well. I've been there. Many of us, I mean, keeping egos aside, we can say that we are doing jobs only for the money. That's okay. But use this opportunity to upskill, really go full on, because you have additional hours now, right? So I tell you in job mastery, and which is part of this Inner Circle right now, how do you write your resume, etc. So the number one button you have to push if you need a job ASAP is your CV score. You might have received an email. CV score is very important. Many people don't even know what is a CV score. So for instance, the workflow now is you have a resume that comes in. Vanasmita Kar's resume comes in .pdf. I don't even check it. Like if I were in a medium company, I know that because I consult for a lot of other friends' companies. They'll just see the HR, and remember, it's not the hiring manager, it's the human resources seeing your resume, right? The layer first friction is the ATS. It's called the applicant tracking system. It will just screen off your company, screen off your CV resume. So if you don't get above 90 score, it's gone. So the way to know your CV score is go to any site. Don't do Shine. Shine's algorithm is not good. But just say, okay, how do I first check my CV score? So you have this, resume worded. There's lots of sites. Okay, that's the first button. Go there, check your CV score. That's very easy. Just upload your PDF. So basically, you will know the three places where your CV, where your friction is. It can be at the ATS, applicant tracking system. You're not getting enough calls, shortlists, right? That's the first friction, right? So everything is systematic, thematic approach. Number two, you might get calls, you might go even to the first round, but after first round, you'll fail. So that's the second button. So there you have to really, if that is where you're failing, you have to really brush up your concepts, right? So for instance, even when I was in the US, I wasn't fully upskilled in machine learning. I still applied for all the hot startups. I even applied to Uber way back. I didn't get it simply because I couldn't clear the interview round. So that means you have to do a lot of mocks, right? So now I don't know where specifically you are, but this is the entire strategy that I'm pushing for you. Third is you might get the job finishing all these rounds, but the offer letter is going to be lowballed. That also happened to me with one stupid company. That's simply because there's a JD mismatch, right? So you have to almost take it like a surgical way of getting a job. Most people's approach is like a nurse. They'll just go, okay, I don't have a job. I'm so stressed and worried. Let me just, the LinkedIn has 500 credits. Let me just apply to all the jobs that come. It will never happen. Applying to 12 jobs with even 10 minutes of proper research using these checklists is very important. Okay. So that's what I would do. I'm presuming it's not going to be for a machine learning job, right? It's going to be with your current skills, correct?
No, sir. Actually, I didn't get cryptocurrency skills here. I mean, I wasn't applying for machine learning jobs yet because I didn't have the skill sets. I was applying based on my biomedical skill sets. But very few opportunity were there. And that also they were asking very higher qualification or at least 4-5 years experience. And if I'm going for lower ones, then that also was like a barrier, because previously what I was working, it was projecting better than the lower ones. So somewhere there was a mismatch. And also my I checked the CV score, it was not good. It was some 38 around.
Yeah.
So that was also there.
Yeah, so that's what I said. So I think so I get a little more context. Thank you. So one is the CV score has to be improved. Second is many people make this mistake of not marketing. Now, what is marketing? You must have a very good solid LinkedIn with all the keywords, etc. And I would also encourage you to write a 2000-word blog article of whatever work you have originally done. I'll tell you why that is important. You guys all must start personally branding yourself. At the minimum, buy the domain, like Rasamsetti.com or I mean, whatever, the full proper name. I also tell you how to write your name, etc. Go and buy your domain. You must have your brand. Okay. Don't worry about all the other things. See, if you have a brand, you can get inbound inquiries. And everybody knows an inbound inquiry is far better than an outbound inquiry, right? Now, how to write a blog? Don't worry about writing a hyphen blog and all. Just document. Don't even create. See, creation is very tough. Documenting is easy. Okay, biomedical engineering, this has been my journey. I've been like brought up in so and so. I'm from, so and so state, so on and so forth. At least if you do that, right, somebody will land there, and it's about the hiring manager, right? Who is giving you the feedback, right? See, it's all about getting in the frame of the mind of the hiring manager, right? See, for instance, right now I'm in your frame. Yeah, because whatever has happened, etc. Now, sometimes being in the frame of somebody else is completely different. I'll tell you about a sales story. I got at one time a very big consulting project with a person only because I never talked about the project. I only said, okay, for free, I'll just mentor your son. And I genuinely wanted to, because I love mentoring. And when the bid came, he just remembered me. So think you have to be in the frame of the other person, right? So think about getting that. So those are the buttons for you to push. Don't worry about his upskilling and all. I think you have the requisite skills, right? You just have to brush up and spruce up a little bit. See, the people getting the best job out there in the market is not the person with the best technical skills. It's the person with the best marketing skills. Okay. You have to push those buttons. I hope, was that helpful?
Yes, it was. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So just go back to this. I also tell you how do you write your resume properly with what are the keywords, etc. How you can restructure your resume from an impact perspective, like, with both the income, how do you kind of project your income, so on and so forth, all that. Meaning, if you've done, let's say, a project, I'm just making it up. I was a biomedical engineer at Novartis, and I did this project. It did a savings of $1.6 million. Many people don't write that in India. That's a mistake. You must write that. See, one is the technical piece. Okay, you've used R or MATLAB and I've done this for this molecule, but you should also write the impact it has created. How do you know the impact? Just a little bit of paper and napkin calculations. If you don't know what your business line of unit is contributing, then it will be very different. Then you don't have a macroscopic understanding, right? We are all cogs in a wheel in a corporate world, or we have been, but you must understand at least what the size of the wheel is, right? That is what people want, right? So think about that also. So I think you have only a few more buttons to push, sort of, so that you can and you have to get back to a job fast. I'll tell you why also. My request is, unless your financial wherewithal, liquidity is set, you have runway for 1 year or 2 years, that's great. If you don't have that, which is the case I did not have, it will be like enormous pressure and you'll buckle, right? So try to get a job, etc. I also give slightly paradoxical advice, in the sense, like, there was a lady in IIIT Delhi who's also my student. She left the job, but because of different reasons, she didn't like it. But she became a math Q teacher, right? And she's getting 50,000 a month. She said, Jay, I'm happy. Jay said, I'm happy with that. That's enough, because I just have to this. He upskill. Now she's doing an AI job. So that is also a strategy possible. Think about that also. But she loves teaching as well. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Every company institute is asking for experience. How will freshers get into those company institutes? See, that is that's mechanical engineer. That's something I get very, very often. I don't think a company. Yeah, sure, no problem. Thanks, Vivek. I don't think a company is looking for experience as much as skills. I'll tell you why. what does experience actually mean? Experience is the ability to deliver on a particular skill, right? I look for that skill straight away. For instance, I mean, this is a very maybe slightly coarse example, but if you're trying to hire a driver, you want to see his driving skills, right? Like a driving skills, like, okay, you know, he's smooth, and especially if you have a Mercedes Benz or something, big car, you want a good driver. Now, common sense says that because he's more experienced, his driving might be good, right? That's because they think that somebody else has taken the onus of training that person, right? So training is the most important there, right? So now, but if you go first principles and reconstruct that, it's actually about why most Formula One drivers are actually very, very young, right? It's about somebody really being adept at something. So once you struck that, once I strike that inside, you need somebody who can, let's say if it's a coding job, you need somebody who writes really good code. So then I went ahead and I needed somebody who could code. So I went ahead and looked at institutions or courses that have really good coders. That's it. Many people don't want to train, because investing in training is investing in a cost, right? So that's how I would view what the industry will say something. Try to peel the layers of the onion and go deeper. If you have, I'm telling you, if Banasmita, you can in 6 months have a good blog and do just one project, like really one. Yeah, correct. If your company is using ATS for resume, I'm going to answer that. So if you have one good blog and in 6 months or 1 year, if you can get skills correct and you've done something reasonably good, like I'm just making it up, you've upskilled to machine learning and deep learning using computer vision, you have done this is cost saving, and you have marketed yourself correct, that trust me, no hiring manager, not HR, you'll get inbound offers. I guarantee you that, right? So many people don't know this. They don't do it because they don't think first principles, right? Experience, a great cook, right? You think that, okay, because of all the, many times he's burnt his hands, he knows the stuff, right? That is not the case. If you train yourself really well, like many people in MasterChef are young people, like, right? It's about getting that right skill, the right sequence of skills, and you can unlock that, right? If a company is using ATS for resume check and experience, yes, I mentioned, yeah. So it's the gatekeepers you have to cross. Go back to that inner circle vault, watch every one of those. I'll show you, I'll tell you at least what a gatekeeper is. Your job, once you finish upskilling the technical skills, the comm skills, the marketing skills, you got to be going from overcoming those gatekeepers, because you're directly surpassing them and the hiring manager is coming to get you, right?
So, when I was applying to some institutions like NIT, they are calling the PhD holders and all. So they are giving some credit points. So based on the experience, so how many projects you have carried out. So so all these things will carry what is that accumulated, and we will get a final credit point. So based on that credit point only, they will call for us for the interview. So applying like a institution like NITs or IITs, definitely they are giving priority for the IIT PhD students. So in that case, since I am a fresher and I have only some 7 to 8 months teaching experience. So some place I could able to tell, but other place and all I couldn't able to deliver, and I couldn't able to fill that in the what is that section. So in that I felt very bad. So in that the options are like that. How many conferences you are conducted like as a coordinator, but unfortunately we couldn't able to do like that. See, I have carried out the conferences along with my guide, but in that my guide is the coordinator, not me. So in that case and all, it is very difficult. So like a fresher, for us, it is like a zero. The credit point will be zero only. So in that case, how we will able to cope up, or I don't know how to practice. So that's what I was asking.
Yeah, no. Thanks, Anu. Very good points and insights. Actually, I'll tell you, see, so if you go back to this lecture that I was referring to, and once you get some time, I encourage you to watch it. There's definitely two strategies. Sorry, there's two jobs out there, right? Private company jobs and public sector. Both are different beasts, completely different beasts. You should understand first the psyche. Again, that comes back from your goal card, right? my strategies that I've told you is completely for private. I'll tell you also public, these strategies will not work. For instance, so I was speaking to the professor from IIT Kanpur, and he told me something very interesting. He said, Jay, do you know that the reason we write our mother's name, father's name, all that date of birth in your resume is because many of the prerequisites for application of a job they require your father's name. And this is coming from some outmoded, some archaic measures from time infinity, pre-independence. Okay. So guys, you understand clearly, are you applying for a private job or a public job? First thing, set that goal. Strategies are completely different. For public sector, yes, you have to walk the talk of all this. You have to have experience. You have to at least ostentatiously show that. Unfortunately, I don't have much experience in public sector, so I don't want to misguide you. Private sector, I do every day in and out. I consult, I interview, I get interviewed also just to stay abreast with the market. So my strategies are all for the private companies. So I think here there are two different paths. Okay. Why do those? I'll tell you. So for instance, Flipkart's computer vision lab room team, I know when they were up, before they were going public, they said, Jay, just get us anybody who can do this challenge. PhD is ostentatious. They had first, the hiring manager, HR manager first wrote PhD, because those guys, they said we need a PhD person and all that. But there was one or two people, one kid was there who actually cracked all the problems in interviews. He was not a PhD. He was actually a very fairly youngster whom I knew and mentored. And when that happened, what happened is Flipkart said, okay, we're paying him the full salary. And at the time, the salary was 35 lakhs, right? Because he had the skill. So in private companies, skill matters. It's just hands down, nothing. Otherwise, that is, I would double check why, even if you're working for that private company or hiring manager, right? So I would just leave it at that point. Just think about that. Please reflect about what I've said. Strategies are completely different. Banasmith, I plan to end up with a job in data scientist role in Jan 2022. Would it be possible? See, 2 months upskilling. See, one thing is, I would request you to be, if there's a couple of parts. Different people are in the community with different, first off, aptitude levels, different backgrounds in terms of, education, programming, all that. My request to you is, if you already are, let's say you're really good in MATLAB, and then your coding piece becomes very easy, right? But maybe your statistics is not great. I'm just making it up. Then you have to pick that up. So if you are willing to push in the hours, etc., in 2 to 3 months, you can. I've seen people who've done really well in self-paced courses. Again, I've seen people also do really well in 8 months to 12 months. There's really no cookie cutter. It's about how many hours can you put in, right? Do you want to get like 6 packs in like 2 months, 3 months, or it can be a year as well. It comes back, like I said, to your mindset, to your self-awareness of your skills, your current state of mind. My view is, I would encourage you to push yourself, because you have time, right? Many of us, like in the community, have full-time jobs and all that. If you have time and all, I would push your own limits, and I think you can do it. Because there's nothing better than challenging ourselves and some fire under the belly. So I would encourage, and the worst case is you'll end up only as a data scientist maybe in March or April. Not that I want to say that, but yeah, so go for it. Okay, let's go to the next question, guys. Yeah, good. Is it required to study any other programming language for the smooth and understanding of the course apart from Python? If so, which one would be? I would not do any other course till you hit TensorFlow or Keras. Hands down. If you want to do, so just stick to Python only. If you're really good, see, that's now you're in Python. Let's say you're in data science, then the machine learning, deep learning or AI course. Once you finish Keras, TensorFlow, then you can learn maybe PyTorch. That's it. See, you have the power of one. You focus on only one. Make sure that you are only doing one thing really well. Like I said, Sachin Tendulkar got most of his runs only in singles, right? Just one. Market has the best jobs for Python, not for R, not for other things. Maybe perhaps for some niche things like Julia and all, but again, you'll have to be, you might be a better judge of, figuring out in your niche if PhDs in that specific niche do Julia and all. But if you want to, if your goal card says, I want to be open to both public and private sector, I want to hedge my bets, then Python is the way. From here to United States to Timbuktu, it's only Python right now. And I don't think that's going to change in the next 5 to 10 years. So invest now, you're set for the next, I would say at least 7 years. And also quantum computing, etc. Everything is just Python based. So you want to set the foundation for something that's 20, 30, at least 20 years, right? So think really, really long term, nothing short term. And you simply cannot excel. I started in R. I struggled to pick up Python. Thanks, Vanasmita. Yeah. I struggled to pick up Python, but I picked up. Then I realized just stick to one, right? I hope that helps. Yeah, Python seems intimidating and all, but if it was that easy and all, then everybody would do it. Shall we be receiving individual feedback if you have any mistakes on our assignments that will be submitted and be submitting? See, I am looking for the short answer to that is I'm figuring that out. Idea is if I have somebody like a community manager or somebody who knows a little bit of programming, I'm still trying to find that person. They can correct the assignments and with my overview. I haven't gotten around to that yet. So that's the honest answer I can give you. Yeah, but hopefully once the hackathon groups come in, you can sort of maybe self-evaluate amongst each other and really get the community out there. While doing projects in Python programming enough to be a developer. What's that? I kind of didn't understand it.
Sorry, it was last minute, so I just phrased it like that. I think the second question was same, kind of, is Python enough, kind of.
So you're saying is Python?
Yes, Jay.
To be what developer, like a data scientist?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. So see, Python is like the fundamental. That's like the chapati or the rice, right? The carbs piece. The rest of the other stuff keeps coming. So for the data science finishing piece, see, Python and data science, that's more than enough to unlock the data science piece of the jobs, which are between like, the ranges of, 5-6 lakhs through 20-25 lakhs ish. Once you pick up, and that is enough even for the machine learning, right? Again, to about 28-30 lakhs. But if you want to, there are other job descriptions that require you to be a full stack data scientist. I think I've mentioned that in the webinar as well. There you need GCP and all that. No, but like Azure, GCP, AWS, like that piece, you have to pick up basically the environment, some Linux commands, etc. So that becomes like your desert and all these other pieces. So my focus is, at least for this piece of the course, or this immediate focus, is just really, really, really entrench in the Python piece. That's it. Hopefully that answered your question.
Yes, Jay. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's go next one. Okay, Sharath, I know many people who have done data science and AML course from a mechanical background, but found it difficult to break into this domain professionally. What would be a good strategy to slowly switch to this domain? Okay, perfect. Great question. See, the only and the best strategy, again, goes back to that. I would really build, you have to think of upskilling in AI slightly different from upskilling in blockchain. So the upskilling, there are different ways, okay, different clusters. One is technologies that can be used and applied in your current domain, right? Like AI or like IT in the sense like Java, or let's say web development and all that, right? You can use that in your current projects. You can make a site for like a mechanical engineering project. You can make like maybe robotic project or something like that. The other kind of technologies are technologies you cannot maybe perhaps use a little bit in your current domain, like blockchain. Blockchain, you can use it as completely standalone, or the use cases, only few use cases are there in your current domain, right? I don't know of a use case of blockchain and mechanical engineering, right? So you have to think of a strategy where you can optimally get AI into your field or look for opportunities in your field. So I would really focus on your goal card to revolve around like domains like I said, electric vehicle and AI. So that way you start becoming like a sector expert there. Cultivate and nurture an interest there, and then look for problem sets or data sets or use cases, right? So first you master, like I said, continue to say like the batting, bowling, fielding, all the core concepts and technologies, chapters, etc. Then pick up only one thing from your current problem, right? Maybe it's in an automotive factory or floor, or one authentic thing. Don't do these Titanic data sets and all. Just get that one thing and build a blog on that, right? And get all the traffic and everything to that. Maybe it could be sharatchandran.com or something like that, to that effect, and build, like maybe you start becoming like a renewable AI expert, right? Build your reputation on that. Then what will happen is you don't need 1 million clicks. You probably need 3,000 or 5,000 views, right? I have only 4,000 or 5,000 views on my YouTube, but at least people know that I'm in this niche and I'm kind of the expert, right? So that is what is important. You only need that one. I would have like a proper 6-month or a 12-month plan only towards that. Push only those buttons. How do you see? You're like an automotive guy, etc. You definitely have enough on your resume. How can I maybe repurpose a little bit of that with AI to those projects? Many people don't do that. They think it's a complete overhaul. For instance, if you are upskilling in cybersecurity, I would find a very difficult use case that you can overlap, right? I don't know if cybersecurity plus working in like an automotive. I don't know just yet. But AI, there are plenty of use cases, right? Just pick one that interests you. Don't pick one that's academic. Don't pick one just because 99% of the world, I call it fashion, is doing that. Right? Okay. Hopefully that answers your question, Sharath.
Yes, Jay. Thank you.
Yeah, and take action. Take action. Unfortunately, I also found it very difficult because Indian education system, we plagiarize a lot. Be wary about that. Don't plagiarize. You have to do only one thing really well. Don't do 10 things. Mind will always push for 10 things. And it's not your problem. Understand there's a devil in all of us, but the devil is also in the behavioral targeting. The minute you click, even in an incognito window or data science course or this thing, you'll be bombarded with 10,000 examples like cookies, my ads included, right? So be careful, wary about that. You just get that one thing, and that's why this Earl Nightingale, everything to rewire that mindset. Yeah. I also seen a similar problem in healthcare, like Akiva, G Healthcare, Philips. They would prefer a computer science background engineer or AI role than a biomedical engineer, even if she has Python ML skills. Yeah, see, Vanasmith, again, coming back to that, those are all things written by, most of the JDs are also written by HR managers, human resource managers, and not the hiring managers. So you have to be, they make it easy because, see, today, I'll just show you my LinkedIn, okay? I was just trying to look for, so let me just see, I'll just show you live. I just put a crypto trainer because like IIT Madras was also asking me about that. And okay, damn. Wait a second. Let me just, sorry. Okay, so so here's a live thing. And this is not like something fictitious or made up. I've just posted for a trainer for AIML and I've also done for crypto and all. So look at my job, 56 people applied, okay? So let's just go and see those applications. Okay, this guy seems legit. Computer vision engineer, data engineer seems fine. I got some applicants from like completely bizarre fields, like IELTS trainer, this trainer, that trainer. What I'm trying to say is it's just a headache to even sift through these. So there are some pre-programmed logic that's, so I have 56 and I'll keep going through that to find one or two, needle in the haystack kind of thing. You can see that some of them are really not relevant. So this guy, senior technology consultant, Ignite, I don't know if you can see this towards the end, doesn't seem relevant at all. So you have this. See, from his perspective, he just carpet bombed. From my perspective, I have to do the screening because, and even when in my other company where I have like a HR who's doing it, I just tell her the rules. Okay, if this so-and-so person is there, just take him. Otherwise, cull off the others. Now, you have to understand the psyche, sometimes keep yourself in the shoes of the other person, right? You have to understand that really well. You might have, if you have the skills, focus on the skills. If you have the skills, try to get in front of the hiring manager. In this case, the hiring manager is me, let's say, right? He or she, and you have to get at least 10 minutes of a phone call or some email response or a Zoom call with him. That's your objective. Your objective is not to like cross the ATS, apply, go through that first friction. There's a second friction. Yeah, the LinkedIn heading is also extremely important. So it's a headache. I mean, I don't even want to show you the crypto thing. It's just painful. I don't even want to show you the messages. It's kind of bad. So you have people because they're desperate for jobs and all that. See, if you had come to me cold, like cold means like you are not in the community, I would have just seen this and I would have just never even called you. But if you had a way to reach out to me, like maybe, and you have to do a little bit of the strategies I've told you in the inner circle world and all that. If you maybe meet me at a conference, right? Or if you had met me like maybe in some webinar and we had been talking, I would have not said no to your background. I would have at least heard you, given you 10 minutes. Try to get 10 minutes of somebody, right? That's very important. I hope that makes sense. Don't just go with cookie cutter. Okay, the ATS has said no, the HR has said no. I mean, it's just ridiculous. The kind of, I'll show you the other things also. I don't know how to see those jobs that have been that are archived. Oh, closed. Let's look at closed jobs. Yeah, so I said, yeah. Okay, let's look at crypto. I've kept a posting for crypto jobs, and you have people like from random things applying. Function head at HR at e-commerce. He doesn't even know the cryptocurrency spelling. So see, my job is how do I sift through as fast as possible? And I spent $41. It's not a free thing, okay? God knows how many I got. Yeah, I got 50 applicants. My job is to minimize, like, think about the hiring manager's headache. I'm trying to minimize and try to get as fast as possible to the top 3 or 4 candidates. You don't have to take it personally if you're rejected. It is not. Right? Maybe this guy, Ankit, I don't know. Maybe this associate faculty, maybe he genuinely invested in crypto and he's made a crushing or a killing, God knows. But if he's not giving me in 2 minutes or whatever, in 5 seconds, that relevant things, or he's not reached past the gatekeepers and come to me, I'll never give him the time and space, right? So I hope you're making it makes sense. Manaspita. Just first focus on building your portfolio. Build your blog, very, very important. Get inbound interest to your LinkedIn. That is very important. Outbound is very difficult. Cold emailing, cold this thing is difficult. There are ways to do it. I've told you in the lectures, please watch them, right? Because you need a job right away. I concur on that. But don't take rejection personally. Yeah, no problem. Thank you. I had a problem in ED assignment. Anu, yeah, we just sequence. Let's go through that quickly now. I'll give you co-host access.
Okay, sir.
You have it ready, I hope.
Yes.
Yeah, go for it. All yours.
So as from here, I downloaded. I kept it here only. So next, I don't know, maybe I got confused. I don't know how to upload or something. So usually when I click on here, it is not able to open.
Okay. Can you upload the next chapter? Can you go and download that next assignment? I mean, just for demo purpose. I think one should be make features.
1 minute. Your next chapter. Huh?
Yeah, just go to the next one.
Okay.
And this is my review.
Yeah, it is review only.
No, I meant make features. Just put the make features.
I couldn't get you.
Go up. Click on DS 1.1. Website top. Yeah, go there. Okay. Go to the make features assignment. Yeah, module 3 assignment. Yeah. Now download only the assignment. Yeah. Is this opening?
This one, right? No. This also. No.
Oh, okay. I see what you're doing. So the way you have to open as a collab file is, okay. So what you do is go to collab. Yeah, go to that collab. Yeah, file. Open notebook. There you upload that particular file. Yeah, there you go. Open. Yeah, try to use cloud only. Don't do anything local.
Yeah.
Yeah. So any file that extends with IPYNB should be opened in a IPython notebook format. Yeah. So can you read the extension of the file?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can read it. No, .IPYNB.
.IPYNB.
So that means IPython, interactive Python notebook.
Okay. So we can only open through the notebook only, right? Google Colab notebook.
You can only open it with a IDE, like IDE means interactive development environment that supports IPYNB. In this case, it was the Colab browser that supports that. You can also open it through Anaconda or Jupyter, but you don't have that on local. Okay. Make sense?
Yes. Now, yeah, I understood.
Yeah. So now there are other kinds of files also, like .py. .py means Python files. That also you can't double click and open. You have to get it to like a run Python file or such. Okay. That's it. Yeah. So for the purpose of this, just summary is always open .ipynb files by opening in a collab. Nothing else.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks. Thank you so much. Yeah. Okay. Next, let's go back to that sheet. Okay. I've completed data science part of the course and now I want to focus on my resume and job applying. Please tell me how I can start applying. Okay, Hemant, have you finished the complete statistics module as well?
Yes.
You tell me the last chapter.
I have finished with the models in the last and uploading my score, uploading my predictions at Kaggle.
Oh, what is the Kaggle like rank and all? Can you show? Can I give you host access to show me until where you are?
I can tell you on the phone because I'm on the phone right now.
Yeah.
From the current list, I stand second in that.
Wow, that's okay. Good.
And okay. I'm like.
Total participants are 13, is it? How many?
Yeah, they are like the same. I tell you.
And sorry, remind me, are you in machine learning or data science?
I'm data science.
Okay, you'll have to.
Data science.
Okay.
There are 8 participants.
Okay. Okay, 8. So, so that means you finished intro to Python, you finished statistics, you finished the orientation. Yeah. Have you finished linear models, linear algebra?
Yes.
Okay. And the Kaggle challenge. Okay, got it.
Kaggle challenge. This part is not on my dashboard. My Kaggle challenge is inside the linear models.
Okay, so you don't have decision trees, random forest and all.
No.
Okay, that's for people who are in machine learning actually. So your next step would be to actually get this and kick off with this. But one sec, that'll be your first organic step. Okay, let me also go back. Okay, so what I'll do is so first off, congrats that you finished. So you're a data science finisher. Awesome, yay. Round of applause to him. Round of applause to him. Awesome. So what I'll do is let me have a one-on-one with you, because two things will happen. One is I do want to first check once your skills and all that once. Okay, so just brush up your concepts and all. We'll just set up a half an hour, okay? Over this week, etc. And the job, yeah, that's awesome. You've done it with in record time. When did you join? When did you join the community?
I think last week of September.
Awesome. So that's entire October. Wow. So that's about 40 days.
Right.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. So let me set up some time with you, so that I just want to just quiz you on some basics and all that. Right.
Right.
Okay. I'll also be talking about the ML piece, and also maybe then we'll talk about your strategy way forward, which buttons to push on.
Good.
Keep your CV score, LinkedIn, and all that ready. Have you finished Inner Circle Mastery? I mean, so Inner Circle, you have done all the things.
Inner Circle, I keep doing that. Whenever I feel motivation, I go to it. That's my.
So have you done cold email?
I can't say like that what I have actually done on that. It's like
noise on your side. What is your score now?
What's my
CV score
CVs?
now?
No, it's like the same. I haven't updated it.
Okay, so I would do that. So before
48 it is.
Yeah, try to push it up to 85 with the techniques I've told. I've told that in I think the 24th October lecture.
Yeah, you just told about the 17th October job mastery lecture. I was going through. I was planning to go through that, and I'll go through the CV too. I have one thing that, like I told you in my question, I was last employed in an IT company in 2014. Since then, I'm with my family here, and this course is to get me back to my forte. So
Yeah,
that's the question.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to do is to apply for the jobs. Before you even get to that, I want to once check, like I know finishing the course, etc. That's awesome, but I want to just check for myself. How ready are you? Is your readiness? How with the final?
Yeah, that will only help me to like keep going through the low links, because the course is so well planned. I just keep moving and moving it. It's like steps. Wherever you miss, you just look back and move ahead, look back and move ahead. So that's, you're getting my point.
No, I'm getting it. What I'm trying to say is, once I do like a mock or something, like a dry run with you, like a mock interview, I will know, like, how your concepts are, and maybe I can recommend to you what kind of jobs. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Let's say we have a call, and I'm just making it up. Maybe your coding is good, but your statistics is slightly weak, right? Then accordingly, maybe I can help you in pushing which buttons on the coding oriented jobs. I'll tell you to stay away from insurance jobs or stuff like that.
Okay.
So that I can only get not in this like 5-6 minute conversation, but it should have a little more deeper conversation, right?
Wow. Thank you for it.
Like it's like think of it like a blood test kind of thing. I just want to know, like, the hemoglobin count, the blood counts.
Sounds good for me.
Perfect. Maybe you have answered this. Yeah. Maybe you've answered this. How do I become a true data? Python can do ETL, data modeling, data vision. All of these can be achieved using other tools. But I see the data science should be providing something apart from these two. How do we go there? Yeah. So basically, Shivanand, are you there? You wanna...
Yeah, maybe if I want, I can give a brief. Okay, so this is something what happened in my previous project. Okay, so we had a huge amount of data, and the project had fund, and all top level people, they said, okay, let's do data science. Then they started hiring data scientists with big salary packages and all the stuff. So they came into the project, they started developing models and all the stuff. But then eventually in the end, what we saw is like they end up doing the same thing what we are actually doing. They're starting loading the data in R and shaping it. And then finally they call one last piece of API that's sitting somewhere on the cloud, and then they're getting it. So to me, it's like what they did, I can also do, except for the last piece. So I was like, wanted to know how to, really master the last thing, not with what other stuff, which can be done in other tools as well. As a techie, I can quickly learn Python because I have enough experience in doing the same thing. So I can quickly learn, but I don't know what is really the one which is actually, to be called data science skills.
Got it. Okay. Let me just help you explain that 1 second. See, okay, so the way you want to think about first, 1 sec, sorry. Yeah, hey, Samir, I just saw that. Okay, can you just message me on WhatsApp privately? I'll just unlock that access if you don't have that. Sorry about that. Okay, cool. So, see, the way you want to think about at least AI or data science is this, yeah. So, what I'm going to be doing is, okay, here's a, yeah, this, I forget the name of this graph, but I'll tell you what the concept is. I'm going to be trying to recall and tell you as it comes. So briefly, there's some very good insight here. The concept goes like this.
Skewed.
Sorry?
Skewed graph.
It's skewed, but in terms of the tools and technologies, I'll tell you, so the way this graph works is you have core data science. So data science, I would say data science, you have to know all the pre-processing, master pre-processing. Pre-processing includes if you're able to write fluent Python loops, right? So that means like proper for loops, if loops, class functions, etc. All that you have to master. That's the first piece. Second is if you have been able to master all the supervised techniques like linear regression, all the visualizations. If you're able to like be at like in fingertips, you're able to read a data set from SQL or CSV, etc. Then if you're able to get basic EDAs and all that. And third is, you're able to construct some supervised models or some unsupervised models. That itself is great. 99%, you're on track to getting a great job, right? Now, you can be very hands-on, right? So this is the hands-on graph. I'm going to call this the hands-on piece, right? So for instance, hands-on is like, the car and the engine, and you can play around with the engine. You can make different models. So for instance, random forest, etc. You can do all these kind of different things. This is the curve, hands-on. The other one is the API tools graph, right? So what does that mean? So API tools means now it's becoming very easy. So for instance, now in Power BI also you can make a linear regression, right? It's kind of very easy. So as it's a combination of your aptitude and what you're doing, like analytics, business analytics guys also have APIs. In Tableau, you can make nice basic insight. And honestly, with a linear regression, you can get very, very powerful models, predict cricket scores, predict so on and so forth. So the real decision is about what you want to do, how deep you want to go, right? So for instance, I'll tell you both parts, the choice is going to be yours, right? For instance, at least when I created this course or etc., is a little more for the blue curve. It's a little less for the pink curve, right? So some people who don't want to be very strong in math or who don't want to be very deep hands-on in statistics, they prefer the left side, API kind of visualization. They're okay with, that's called more business analytics, those kind of codes. Or like you mentioned, ETLs can do that and all that, right? But I wanted it to be a little more hands-on because I want you to be, well, at least my initial aim was like FANG companies or MANG companies want more hands-on people, right? They want ICs who are able to do a lot more of these. That is what is at least what I thought, right? And they want powerful people. See, if you can create code, if you can write these things at a fundamental level, then what will happen is you can make complex models, right? Now, packages in industry are, so that is where I am also not clear. So this graph had mentioned that the best, so initially what will happen is the packages, right? Salaries, if your goal card is coming from packages, the API kind of things, the visualization guys also get 12 lakhs, 18 lakhs, 20 lakhs, up to 25 lakhs also there are opportunities. The guys who do, so that's the pink graph, but it will come down. It will come down. Never have I seen like a visualization guy earn impossible 60, 70 lakhs. That's just like ridiculous. I have not seen that. That won't happen. But it's left skewed in that lots of 10 lakh, 15 lakh, 16 lakh jobs are there. Right side, it will keep going up like exponentially. If you are able to do Keras, PyTorch, deep learning, you master everything, you can get, like I said, 1.3 crores, 1.8 to 3 crores also, salaries wise. And sky is the limit. Consulting projects will be like, so, but they start off very small. You have small 4 lakh jobs also in data science. So really depends on what you want. MANG companies, I'm certain, most of the MANG roles, but even in the MANG companies, some of them want visualization and all that piece. So same Python, you can be the pink curve or the blue curve. I hope that answers. Where do you want to see is a function of your goal card, your own first mental awareness, and the amount of time and effort you want to put in, right? So I knew from beginning that I didn't want to be a visualization guy. That's me. Even though I know visuals, I tell my team, because I wanted to be a little more challenging. I wanted to take up a lot more challenging roles, etc. But that might not be the case for you. That might be something else for you or somebody else, right? So even though all seem very similar, there are nuances and very deep nuances. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes. Actually, I got to understand already the API and hands-on stuff, but my actual question was, I wanted to be on the blue line, but I'm right now maybe at the starting point, but how do I grow up? Some people say, you need to have real-time experience, real data, only then you can quickly grow to the right-hand side top. So I just want to know how should I progress to the top?
Okay, cool. So first I would start with baby steps. So did you finish that? Are you a data science finisher?
No, I just started last week.
Yeah, so okay. So first chill out, start there, focus on the fundamental, reassess yourself. Don't be in a haste, please, ever. Always think long term. I love it that you're thinking 1 year ahead, etc. But think basic. Think really, be extraordinarily patient right now. Go baby step, go to the milestone first. Data science finisher, like we had just now, Hemant can say that. Then you become a machine learning finisher, then you become deep learning finisher. And at every milestone, you will know your own interest, right? Maybe your interest might also change, right? You'll see once you learn data science, you start seeing a rose differently, right? Rose differently, meaning you'll see red, blue, green, you'll see pixels and all that. So I would hold my horses there a little bit, focus, absolutely rivet right now, cut off the noise and focus on mastery of Python. Python mastery itself is difficult, yeah. Like a guy, like even in Google's first rounds and all, they ask very difficult questions in basic, simple Python. Like Facebook, they ask very basic, very tough questions on PHP. Facebook, in fact, revamped the entire PHP. Anyway, that's slightly different, digressing. But just focus on that. Real projects, etc. I'll tell you, the only real project you can do is the ultimate one is what you're very close to at heart and passionate. 9 on 10 people don't do that. They just go to analytics with this thing, that thing, they regurgitate stuff. They just are unwilling to put in the hours and the effort, right? Because it's painful to be original. If you want to stand out from the crowd, just dig deep into some data set you like. For instance, Banasmita was, she's struggling with, like, let's say, with her biomed and all. Just take up a real biomed data set, I think she has seen. There's no plagiarism ever then. You have no competition. That's what I would do. I've done all the data sets, trust me, Kaggle, this thing, that thing, everything. Nothing has helped me except my original real data sets. And I have some really good ones, like crypto ones. I made it on my own. I hired an 8,000 rupee Fiverr and I just asked that guy to just create data sets. That is every day, we made some APIs and all that, and just every day doing manual data sets. That's it. So I hope I've answered that question. Yeah, focus. Why not do multiple stuff? Family work and improving. So my thought was important. Also, job. If I think I try to do all these, my output levels in each sphere decrease. Basically, quality of work done versus quantity of work done trade-off. The way I see this, try to juggle them and then improve. Yeah, Samir, go for it.
So Jay, I have got one query. Since last time I told you I have already done master in data science.
Okay.
Now the problem what I'm facing during interviews are my concepts are clear, but people are looking out for Python ka hands-on. I mean, they are asking for syntax. That is something. I mean, I'm not very keen or working on that. Though, because what happens is if you get some problem, there is a solution online. You know how to go about it, and then probably you search online and do this Python coding. But people are looking out for syntax, exact syntax, what it should be. That's the problem I'm facing right now. Because in my current role, I have not used Python for almost 2.5 years. So,
okay. Perfect. I love that question. Sorry, Swam, just give me 2 minutes. I want to answer that question because because I think yours might take a little more time. See, one thing is, Samir, again, goes back to the goal card. Yeah, number one thing is hands down, being in the dugout, being in the trenches is the most difficult thing. For at least I am trying to be congruent with what the objective here is, which is securing a job in any one of these MANG companies. Let me tell you a story. Okay, when I was in MX, I used to go to Silicon Valley from New York City just to get some good projects or something. Like at least I'll have visibility. I was always trying to go to San Francisco. I met this guy called Nick Seth. He's still there, and not in MX. He's in some other company. And I used to see him standing. And in Silicon Valley on Fridays, you could drink beer. He was drinking beer, and he was just cold. He was sitting there, and he had 3-4 monitors. And I went and I spoke to some other people. I didn't know who he was, and I was speaking to the other people. And then those other people said, "Do you know who this guy is?" He's like, "I don't know. He's the new CTO of MX." And MX is, trust me, Warren Buffett has invested in that and all. It's one of the most profitable companies since 70 years. And not many people know this. American Express started as a horse stable company for courier. It's called 200 Vesey Street. It's a horse stable company, a company that does courier. Nick told me something very, very profound. He's like, "I'm a CTO." Then I met him. A very nice guy. I said, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm writing code." Like, "What?" And he showed me a mobile iOS app that he coded. CTO of a company is coding. I was like just blown away. And he was writing some Python script for something else. And then I said, "What is this? Like, why are you doing that? I thought you'd be doing a lot of office work and politics and all that." It's like, "No, this is what we do." PayPal CTO is also, I think, an Indian also, just writes code. See, this, I think we have it in our culture, this Indian thing, maybe, not that I want to critique us too much. If you want to be a techie, you have to be a techie. You can't be like Ravi Shastri, like a coach, giving the kind of just like on a high level gyan or something. See, I'm not trying to, critique you. I'm just saying best jobs are for those who are Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. They are not for some faculty who's giving like some coding gyan, etc. That is not for the best, right? And best means like really best. It's an abundance mindset. The guy who wants to earn 1.8 or even a shot at earning 1.3 crores or 1.8 crores or getting consulting projects has to be able to code, because once you know how to do those, today I can hire some guy. Today I'm able to hire in IIIT some people for 15,000 rupees. Yeah, I just tell them go and execute it. But I know I can catch them in the code level if there's a mistake and all or something like that. So at least for the first 2-3 years of this new technology, since you're not a data scientist or an AI scientist, you must be able to do that. That is the ethos of this course. I've seen this with faculty also. Many people, faculty in most colleges just say, okay, binary sort means this. They write it on the blackboard and they can't code. So the students are handicapped, right? See, this is a programming kind of first course. This is not like an MBA kind of like ISB has that course. They have an MBA piece where the second component, first component is the theory and all, the second component is this. So my request to you is just think about it. Don't react to it just now. You're smart enough. You can do it. See, it's all about us putting our mind. I see so many people coming and saying, hey, Jay, math is difficult. What? Math is not difficult. It's our delusion. We have kept it in our head. It's not. Oh, tech is difficult. Tech is not. If in 21st century, and I mean, I've seen some like much senior elder people in my other company tell me these things, and yet they want to earn big money, and yet they want to be ambitious. It doesn't work like that, right? Today I
No,
know.
that's true. That's true, Jay. That's true. So what I'm telling is, so in syntax also, if I tell something like this is how you do it, they'll be like you have to give a more optimized syntax for the same.
Yeah. Okay, I see. Okay? Are you telling about computer science CS like Big O and all that? Yeah. Today
Yes.
I've seen that. Yeah. I think I've told this in the previous sessions as well. I'll go on record. Nowadays, and the thing I told in the previous sessions was CS fundamentals are also being asked in data science questions. Now that is very important as well. I have seen the shift. Yes, you're right. Sorry. Now I understood this. CS fundamentals are being asked in first round of interviews also. They're asking binary sort, quick sort, merge sort, and all these kind of things, optimization, because they've understood. Companies now see suddenly also a lot of CS guys have understood that data science is the more hotter job. See, data science, CS jobs are like just basic jobs, right? Backend engineer and all. They are capping off at 30 lakhs, 40 lakhs. They're not getting the 60 lakh jobs. Now, data scientists are getting 60, 70 lakhs. So what these guys are doing is companies are squeezing out, okay, let's get this guy to do a lot of the CS fundamentals. You're right. That's why I said get mastery in Python as well. So, but I wouldn't focus. I mean, you told me that are you a data science finisher? You finished everything?
Sorry.
No, have you finished? Are you a data science finisher? Have you finished
your course Canvas?
Yeah.
No, I haven't. I was, doing this interview things. So I couldn't get time, but yeah, I'll start doing it.
Yeah, I would focus on first being a finisher, finish that. Then once you finish statistics, data science statistics, linear algebra, everything, then you unlock the CS piece. Means outside, I'll tell you outside, there are some good resources. I'll guide you to that.
So the problem is, Jay, the thing is, people are asking about data structures. So looping is okay, for looping, while looping, that's okay. But when you get into this data structure wherein they tell you to program in Python, and that too, they'll give you a problem which is very difficult to understand itself, then this is where I am facing a problem. So
Okay.
for example, one of this interview, they asked me to write a code for optimizing this query, wherein a sweeper takes out bag from bathroom. Every time he goes to bathroom in school and takes out bag from that bathroom, there are 600 bags. How will you optimize that? So those kind of queries is something I didn't understand how to go about it.
Got it. Okay. Now I just want to ask you this, Samit. What is the JD of? Can you remember the top 3 points of the JD of the job you applied?
So it was fractal analytics, and then they were looking out for data scientist. Now initially they told he should be proficient in Python, he should be proficient in SQL, and then there are some visual tools like Power BI or Tableau. He should be aware of it. This is what it was told. But when this test came, which is in Metal, it was all about data structure Python coding. I was not aware of any of this.
If you don't mind, can you so first off, I'm a little confused. You applied for a data scientist job, okay, before you upskilled as well, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Do you remember the search string? Fractal analytics, job description, data analyst. The data
Yes.
Is it on LinkedIn or the Greenhouse?
So they give this Metal test for almost 2.5 hours.
No, Metal is fine, man. That's a platform. I want to know, where did you find that job? Is it on LinkedIn? Can you see my screen? I'm trying to extract the exact JD. Yeah, maybe this one is the one. So this is all data science. ANOVA, decision tree is proper data science.
Right.
This is not, was this the one you got? No, this is
Yes, yes.
this doesn't have anything about CS there, though.
That's true. That this is where I was quite amused or confused, as in
That's
to
weird, yeah. I mean, you have to
the,
maybe.
I mean, it's been twice I have given fractal ka test, and they always ask this data structure with Python, which is weird. But this is how it is. So I don't understand how to go crack about these kind of interviews. Similarly, Wells Fargo's also, they asked for uh, analytics consultant too, but then their whole interview was basis this data structures. You write a code for finding out even number. You write a code for probably finding vowels from letters. Those kind of interviews. I mean, this was not related to data science at all.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So see, data structures, like I said, so first off, do you have a CS background?
No. I'm biotech.
Yeah, so what you have to do is, so data structures, the topics I laid out, binary sort, quick sort, merge sort, and all are the basics, right? That's what I'm saying. Now the JDs are slowly moving. This is like literally like as of 1 year-ish, 1 year, 6 months to 1 year. I am also seeing a shift in JDs. For instance, if you go to like, so okay, let's see, there's US JDs and there's India JDs, right? United States JDs now all in the major companies are beginning to ask CS questions as well. These are CS questions, data structures. You have to upskill in data structures and these pieces as well. I don't have it yet in the course because this is like literally recent. I did learn those myself in Colombia. So the book you have to, I can give you some references if you're comfortable. Do you want me to give you that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Introduction to Algorithm. I mean, ostentatiously, guys, make notes of this, please. Introduction to Algorithms by Clifford Steen. This is, he was my faculty in Colombia. This is like the Bible book. Okay. This is like H.C. Verma of physics. This is what every computer science guy does supposed to do in the 4 years. I'm sure some of the CS guys here know it, right? After you finish data science, if you're a data science finisher, buy this book. It's there online for, okay, I'm not going to go on record and tell you to get it free because that's unethical, but get the book, start doing the problems. You can go to HackerRank and start making a small account there and start doing the problems there. Okay. But do not do it right now. You can't master, like I said, you can't be on 2 horses going in different directions. What will happen? Your legs will shear away. So just, this trend is very new. I know why the trend is happening, because already the data scientist in a company is being hated because he's the highest paid guy. He or she is the highest paid person. So they are thinking, okay, isko itna salary there, let's get the maximum. Okay. So don't silo yourself up to only few things. I'm going on record and I'm telling you, like I said in the webinar, full stack is also being asked. It's not come yet, but I know that is going to come because in the US JDs, if you look at the Amazon USA job descriptions, data scientists, they're already asking you questions on Azure, AWS, and all. So the company, see, because you are going to be the highest paid resource there, they want you to do everything. They want you to do 20 push-ups, just do it. Okay. They want you to do somersaults, just do it. So if you look at the job description, slowly, they're changing. What is going to come tomorrow, even I don't know. My view is they won't subsume the entire CS. They won't ask you to make a website and all. That'll be like just too much. But they're getting Flask and everything as well. Okay. So yeah, I've also seen this trend. It's a recent trend. It's kind of recent. It was not there 2 years ago. So be wary of that. So maybe Hemang, etc., others who have finished the course, like the first part, you can be wary about that. For beginners, don't worry about it at all. Okay, cool. Let's go back to this. So this is kind of try to juggle them and improve. Yeah. Why not do multiple stuff, focus, family work and improving my thought process important, and also job. If I think of try my output levels in each sphere decrease, basically. Yeah, this is a kind of a big question. And maybe, I know, I don't know if, is there a question? like because the question starts in the beginning. I think we've talked to some part of it. See, when I meant by having a goal, at least for this community, from the purpose of this, have one goal from a career perspective. That's what I meant, right? I'm not saying like, because let's say my goal was, I'm just saying, okay, impact 1 million people by coaching. Doesn't mean I have to cut off family. Doesn't mean I have to cut off other stuff. That's not what I mean. I'm saying one primary goal and one form factor, very clear form factor. I can't have two goals. I should not be saying, okay, I want to do this company startup, plus I also want to, by the way, do a full-time job. That's not what I want. That's not a goal, good goal. Does that make sense, Swamdeep? Are you there? Are you on mute? I think he dropped. Oh, sorry. Okay, maybe he dropped. Okay, what I would so that was the last question. And yeah, it's Clifford Stein's CLRS. Yeah, it's been there forever. You can get it on the internet also. So Clifford Stein's CLRS. This is like, and who taught me is Clifford Stein, the fourth author. There are four. It's a acronym name. Introduction to Algorithms. So is that okay? Okay, guys. So that brings to the end of the session. So before we end, what tomorrow I'll do the groups. Tomorrow we're going to be meeting shortly, and I'll talk to you about the other course, etc. And before we end, I would really appreciate it if you could do one thing. Yeah, take about 2 to 3 minutes and if you really like the session and whatever the experience so far, I would request everybody to take 2 minutes, and whatever you genuinely feel, please, give your comments on this. I'll be waiting here for 2-3 minutes, and then I'll just tell you some conclusion remarks. Guys, are you clear about that? If you're clear, type CLR. Thank you, Rasamsetti, again. Yeah. I need everybody to type CLR. Okay. And maybe also mention the top 3 takeaways, because see, algorithms, even these reviews, if people see that and read that, one or two people, if they read the key comments, they'll understand what was the benefit, right? And then it keeps spreading, so on and so forth. I'll be right here, trying to maybe read the comments. What's coming up? Yeah, I think 8:30 should be fine. 8:30 should be fine. Should be fairly sure. Yeah, we'll start with the values, and then I'll move to the next part of the session, which is about the blockchain. Yeah, no problem. And then tomorrow's agenda is values and the hackathon's team distribution and team clustering. And then the third one will be about the blockchain course. About 5 minutes. So thank you so much. Extremely helpful and the course content is cool. Thank you. Hey, Swayamdeep, you fell out. I think you rejoined.
Network issue.
Yeah, I saw your question. So what people are doing? is I've requested everybody to just, if you really like the session, then just leave a review on Trustpilot. So let's take 2 minutes about that, and then I'll just shortly answer your question, or we'll move to the next piece tomorrow. Perfect. Yeah, that'll be great. So I would request, if you like the session, I would just request you to have a comment, because see, the reason comments, reviews are important to me is because new prospects who come will be first searching, and that's the first thing they'll read. So whatever you truly felt, just write it. And even if you said no, we hate you, Jay, write that also, no problem.
Jay, do you have any idea as into what is Salesforce effectiveness works on? I mean, what kind of role is it? Any idea as such?
Salesforce?
Effectiveness.
Sorry, I don't know.
No idea. Okay. I mean, does it involve any analytics, or as such is something I'm not very sure.
No idea. Okay, right. Hey, thanks, Manusmita. Thanks, Sivanand. I'll reply to that. No, timer is just for the review, yeah. Just put that and then win. Okay, we are towards the end. I really appreciate your time. We're going to be seeing tomorrow. Thank you all for staying till the end and providing the feedback as well. Awesome. Okay, see you tomorrow, guys. So tomorrow's agenda, we're going to be kicking off again with the values, etc. Okay, I read your comment, Shivanand. Thank you. I'll send this to the team and I'll take that as well. Yeah. So thank you, Anu. Thank you, Banasmita, Hemang, Mohanraj, Samit, Sarath, Shivanand, Som, Swayandeep, and Vishnu. So tomorrow, like I said, we'll kick off with that values and all. Second, we are going to be distributing the themes. And third is I'll be telling about the blockchain course. So feel free to talk about to the other members of the community, to your friends, etc. That piece. If you're interested, you can, you're welcome to that. Thank you. Good night, all of you, for your time. I'm going to rise there. Thank you. Good night.
Good night, Jay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone.
Yeah. forward to you guys.
Good night, Jay.
Yeah.
Good night. Thank you, Jay.
Yeah. Good night.